Tonight, the pipeline promise that has some Albertans celebrating cautiously.
There's a lot of hurdles to overcome. Anytime that your town is mentioned in growth, we're very excited about.
What comes next for the mega project, including its place in the conversation about national unity? Can Canada make history again?
If you're here, there's no reason why we can't make it, another step.
A spot in the World Cup quarterfinals is on the line. The test is tough, but the team says they're ready.
Congratulations, Taylor!
And electric excitement and Swift-sized security.
This is American royalty having their wedding day.
We're in NYC as Taylor and Travis are tying the knot.
From CBC News, this is The National with Lindsay Duncombe.
In the space of 24 hours, Canada has taken a critical step, turning pipe dreams into pipeline plans. Long held back by regulation, opposition, and investor uncertainty, a path to take oil sands crude to the BC coast is suddenly a lot more real. After the Prime Minister and Alberta's Premier announced a new southern route to the Port of Vancouver, a private company ready to help build it, and plans to meet key conditions, including one of the world's largest carbon capture and storage projects. But after diving into the details of the proposal, Aaron Collins shows us there are now fresh questions.
Stampede season in Cowtown, a city in party mode again. This announcement on a route and proponent for a new pipeline to BC helping to kick off the party. Alberta's energy sector energized. This analyst excited to see big projects moving forward again.
The biggest thing is the idea that this can get into the Majors Projects Office, and according to the implementation agreement, we could see it ready for construction in 14 months, September of 2027.
If the pipeline is built, it'll start here in Bruderheim, northeast of Edmonton, a town that has had pipeline promises broken before. The abandoned Keystone XL line to the U.S. was also to start here.
There's a lot of hurdles to overcome, and we get that. But it's still, anytime that your town is mentioned in growth, we're very excited about.
The new line is set to run alongside much of the existing Trans Mountain pipeline, a route expected to make getting federal approval for the project smoother. The line would end up at a terminal here in Delta, BC, and that province says it won't stand in the way of the project. But who will fill it with oil and who will buy it? Lingering questions for some.
The future demand for oil is very shaky.
That uncertainty and the public's stake in the line worries this clean energy advocate.
That's a huge risk, that by the time you get through all of the planning and the building and finally it's starting to turn a profit, that there will still be a demand for oil.
Another unknown, the details of an agreement that would incentivize the major oil sands producers to build a multi-billion-dollar carbon capture system to reduce emissions. And building that carbon capture system is a prerequisite for the pipeline to be built.
And Aaron, the pipeline has already entered Alberta's other big political conversation over national unity.
Yeah, it really has, Lindsay. Danielle Smith has been clear that this pipeline is her way of making the case for Alberta to stay in Canada. The province hopes the project can be deemed in the national interest by October 1st, just in time for a referendum on Alberta independence set for later that month.
Thanks, Aaron. Aaron Collins in Calgary. Just hours from now, Canada's historic run at the World Cup is set for a crucial test, facing down an elite club from Morocco. Sarah Levitt is in Houston with the hopes and dreams of a nation.
Under the Texas sun, a group united, but Canada's men's national soccer team is hungry for more.
Here we are, and we deserve to be here. And If you're here, there's no reason why we can't make it, another step. And that's something that I think fills us with a lot of excitement.
Already, they've earned their first ever World Cup point win, round of 32, and now on to the round of 16. For Canadian fans, it's been quite the show, and some have been fully committed.
I left home, Quebec City, about 3 weeks ago. I didn't bring my razor, so now I have a beer.
Around 500 members of the Voyageurs fan club have made it out to Houston. Those die-hard supporters of Canadian soccer know the next test will be the toughest yet. The group's VP describing it as
having Zimbabwe hockey team being, qualified for the Hockey World Championship.
Translation, it won't be easy, especially against one of the top-ranked teams in the world.
This is where we expect it to be, and this is where we want to be. And we know that Morocco is going to challenge every single thing we do. And this is a team that has literally zero weaknesses.
Canada has proven itself on the world stage, though.
They're one of the fastest, most aggressive teams at this World Cup. The thing is, Morocco plays very much the same way, but maybe there's a little bit more technical ability or players playing at a higher level, and they have the ability to go out and play a faster brand of football.
Well, it's kind of a mixture of anxiety, pride, stress.
Watching closely will be family like the father of defender Luc de Fougerolles.
Well, I think Morocco's amazing, and the game against Holland I thought was the best game so far of the World Cup. Could have been a semi-final or even a final, but I think physically Canada hopefully can keep up with them, and you always need a bit of luck as the underdog.
So kickoff, 1 p.m. Eastern, with a chance at quarterfinals on the line, and a lot of these Canadians will be there.
And Sarah, if you can hear me over those cheers, what we still don't know is just how much Captain Alphonso Davies will play because of that hamstring injury.
Yeah, Coach Jesse Marsh really keeping his cards close to his chest, much like he did throughout the tournament. He did say Davies made a real impact when he came late in the game, the last match, but he won't say whether or not Davies will start off the first whistle or later.
Sarah Levitt in the thick of it in Houston. Thank you. Tonight, a CBC News investigation reveals how some ticket resellers use StubHub to sell you tickets they don't even have yet. The alleged practice has left thousands of World Cup fans empty-handed. But as Dave Seglins shows us, it's bigger than that.
Getting scammed by StubHub. I'm so mad right now.
StubHub has some explaining to do.
It's completely unfair.
Anger over StubHub's World Cup cancellations, caused in part by speculative ticketing. Scalpers selling tickets they don't actually have in hand. We went digging and found early warning signs back in 2024.
These are fake tickets. Fake.
We discover StubHub ran ads offering seats a year before FIFA actually released tickets.
They're straight up trying to jack your money, bro.
Tickets? Who needs tickets?
It's not just World Cup. We find other events already for sale.
Super Bowl tickets, 2027. Oh, and there we have it. More than 100 tickets available. None of these tickets from the real box office have gone on sale.
This fan bought World Cup tickets from StubHub 1 week before FIFA officially released them.
I bought tickets before tickets were even for sale, so I clearly bought ghost tickets.
On game day, StubHub canceled.
We were 5 hours before kickoff and found out we weren't getting tickets. I got really mad.
StubHub insists it doesn't allow speculative tickets, but tells us it lets resellers post seats that they've been promised in future, even if they don't have them in hand. We wanted to see how easy it is to list those future tickets.
I'm going to see if I can list $2 tickets, fake tickets, for the Summer Olympics in Los Angeles.
No proof of ticket, just an honor system.
I confirm I own these tickets or have the right to be issued these tickets.
A few clicks.
Congratulations, I've posted them.
And boom, there they are.
So I took them down, I saved my $2.
And we're calling for governments to pay attention. If you take money for something and then don't deliver it, that's fraud.
We put that to StubHub. The company says it doesn't own, possess, or sell tickets. It's just a platform that connects independent buyers and sellers. The company has since provided Jeremy Wright replacement tickets after he went to the media.
I only get those because I was so whiny.
But vows he won't buy from StubHub again. Dave Seglin, CBC News, Toronto.
All remaining residents of Fort Simpson in the Northwest Territories have been told to shelter in place because of a wildfire. An alert was sent out this afternoon telling all residents who have not yet left the community to seek immediate cover at the local recreation center. More than 1,300 people have been under evacuation orders since Sunday as shifting winds continue to threaten the small community. Residents of Manitoba, Manitoba are filling up sandbags to prepare for the downstream effects of flooding in the western part of the province. The town is located east of Winnipeg along the Little Saskatchewan River, where water levels are projected to spike over the weekend. It was an emotional scene at an Ontario courthouse as two women were sentenced for murdering a young boy in their care and torturing his little brother. Michelle Song with how that surviving brother is reacting tonight. And we do need to warn you, there are some disturbing details in this story.
As the Ontario couple convicted of killing a 12-year-old boy, referred to as LL, were led away to spend life behind bars, his younger brother, JL, who the women also abused, spoke out publicly for the first time. CBC News cannot reveal his identity due to a publication ban.
It's good that they got what they deserved and got sentenced to life in prison.
Becky Hamber and Brandy Cooney were given life sentences for the first-degree murder of LL, plus an additional 10 years in total for forcible confinement, assault with a weapon, and failure to provide the necessaries of life for JL. They will be eligible for parole in 25 years.
I think the one thing you hope for is that the victims of this offense and this crime are able to do the best they can to repair themselves and move forward.
Hamber and Cooney were seeking to adopt the boys, but the court heard the brothers suffered at their hands. When LL died, he was found severely malnourished. JL testified that food was withheld and he was zip-tied. The women also denied that the boys were Indigenous, an identity the judge acknowledged in his sentencing.
We shouldn't have to validate our indigeneity, ever. We should never be questioned.
The judge heard several victim impact statements, including from the boys' biological mother. Then the couple read their final statements, insisting they're innocent.
They take no accountability, no remorse.
Teacher Sarah Biasetti reported her concerns to Children's Aid 4 times.
There's so many system failures here. CAS not going in and helping the children, the school board not following through when they were told they were homeschooled. Doctors, therapists, and more needs to be done.
The Ontario ministry that oversees the Children's Aid says it has enhanced oversight over foster care and group homes and increased the frequency of visits.
Both Hamber and Cooney have the right to appeal the conviction, but they haven't indicated if they will. Michelle Song, CBC News, Milton, Ontario.
The death toll is still climbing in Venezuela. More than 2,600 people are now confirmed dead. More than 12,000 were wounded. And as Jorge Barrera shows us from Caracas tonight, volunteer medical teams are stepping up and flying in to help.
In a park inside Venezuela's devastated quake zone, help comes through a doctor's calming touch. Dr. Luisana Rivas left this country for Chile 10 years ago, but when the quake struck, there was no question. She booked a one-way ticket home. The land calls, she says. We are here because we want to be. These are our people. Rivas and 3 other Venezuelan doctors, who also rushed in from Chile, are working out of this school, now being used as a shelter.
Bienvenido a la patria.
Cultural Minister Raúl Casal was on hand to greet them. His government has come under fire for its response to the crisis. But Casal says no one could have expected the scale of the destruction and that no country has the capacity to immediately deal with the humanitarian need that followed. Dr. Seymour Sanguino Ojeda left behind a wife and 2 children when he flew in from Chile. He says it's not easy to hear from patients who've lost their homes, their family members, but he plans to stay as long as he's useful. In another devastated part of La Guaira, Dr. Salvador Jimenez is working out of a field clinic in a camp for the displaced. He says he hasn't been able to sleep. He hitched a ride with a convoy from a state 200 kilometers away to look for a friend. He hasn't found him. But he says he won't leave until his duty is done. In the face of so much devastation, there's no telling when that will be.
There are worries about sustaining the international and individual help that is keeping things afloat. This displacement camp around me is mostly run by volunteers and stocked with donated supplies, but those supplies have limits.
And so, Jorge, some of the volunteer doctors are trying to come up with a plan to help?
Yes, these Venezuelan doctors from Chile are hoping to organize waves of teams to replace those who are already here. They've taken vacation time, they're putting their jobs at risk to stay, and many have families back in Chile. But the need is deep. They told us that one hospital in La Guaira lost 70% of their staff.
Jorge Barrera in Caracas tonight. Thank you. In a vast prayer hall, Iranian leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei lays in state months after being killed in U.S.-Israeli airstrikes. His coffin and those of slain family members visited by Iranian leaders, some apparently sobbing, and by foreign dignitaries, including close allies. It is the latest in a week-long mourning period that will see mass funeral processions. The ceremonies conducted under a tenuous peace as talks on a final agreement with Washington continue. Major parties are underway across the United States tonight on the eve of 250 years of independence. But as Paul Hunter shows us, in the nation's capital, not everything is going to plan.
All week long in Washington, D.C., symbols of America have been on the streets and in the skies as the U.S. is set to celebrate itself and its 250th birthday, July 4th. But so much of the talk
there's tons of people here
has been abject mockery.
It's just going to get more and more crowded as the week goes on.
Videos like this highlighting the mostly empty National Mall with its so-called National State Fair slammed as a disastrously dreadful flop. Here's a rehearsal for further celebrations in D.C. on the 4th. Watch what happens. Though no one was hurt. A stark contrast to the Bicentennial Party in 1976. This was the National Mall July 4th that year. But times were different then. This year, there's no doubt the heat is a factor in the subdued excitement. Here, on the day before July 4th...
Attention, fairgoers. The event has been postponed. Please proceed to the nearest exit.
Sky-high temperatures walloping the region shut down everything for hours.
It's too hot! Please!
On the way out of the mall, as one visitor put it,
"This sucks."
And then there's that algae-laden reflecting pool still being scooped of its duck poop. A focal point for critics of U.S. President Donald Trump, who tried to freshen it up but failed. The green tinge to now be a kind of backdrop for what he promises will be a doozy of a speech July 4th, in spite of the heat.
It's going to be approximately 107 degrees out. And I'm going to go and I'm going to make a really long speech just to show that I can do anything.
Setting the vibe for America 250, a party likely few would have thought might turn out quite like this. Paul Hunter, CBC News, Washington.
Superstar power couple Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are officially married, tying the knot tonight at Madison Square Garden. Griffin Yeager joins us from New York City with the latest. Griffin.
Yes, Lindsay, Swift's publicist confirmed the wedding and that Adam Sandler officiated it. And if you look behind me, Taylor's something blue. Yes, that is none other than the Empire State Building lit up in light blue in honor of the newlyweds, an exclamation point on a long-awaited day. A constant stream of blacked-out SUVs pulling up to Madison Square Garden, supposedly filled with a 1,000-plus guest list of A-listers, all disappearing into white tents with curtains. Manhattan streets lined with media, barricades stretching blocks. The confirmation coming late Friday, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are married. Fans lined the perimeter trying to get a glimpse. But this is not the Eras tour, and no amount of money will get you in the door. Still, excitement was high.
This is American royalty having their wedding day.
She's an icon.
To be here and see it happen is just kind of cool, even though I'm not inside.
And some still hoping they'll eventually get to see the bride and groom.
She probably will want us to be part of the journey.
Taylor Swift is known for dropping clues and writing freely about her love life. This time, it's her decision to stay quiet that's captivating fans.
Allegedly has never gotten this much attention.
This author says for fans who've grown up with her music, this is the happy ending they've waited for.
We've heard her be heartbroken, we've heard her fall madly in love, we've heard her fall madly out of love. We've been through the emotional ringer with her. And for her to have a day like this, as she once sang, it's a love story. Baby, just say yes.
Now, to say I do in a fortress that is Madison Square Garden, while Forbes is estimating it could cost the couple upwards of $28 million. And according to an NYPD memo released by the New York Times, the party's going to go until 4 a.m. But for the tight end of the Kansas City Chiefs and the pop star with the sold-out Eras tour, I think they'll be just fine.
Exciting times. Griffin Yeager reporting from New York. Canadian musician Tommy Hunter has died at the age of 89.
Won't you come to my own sweet darling?
How Canada's country gentleman is being remembered next. Tommy Hunter has died at the age of 89. The singer, guitarist, and CBC television host helped define country music in Canada, showcasing talent from Roy Rogers to Shania Twain. Angie Seth now on the life of Canada's country gentleman.
Won't you come to my own sweet darling?
Canada has lost a musical icon. Born and raised in London, Ontario, country music captured Tommy Hunter's heart early on in his life, and he captured the hearts of Canadians.
Listening to country records, old-time fiddles and steel guitars, it's something that I have lived and breathed since I've been a little kid.
Crowned Canada's country gentleman, Tommy Hunter spent decades on some of country music's biggest stages.
Well, I was like a kid at a candy shop, and I had the best seat.
He was a cast member on CBC's Country Hoedown in 1956, and that star power led him to this.
It's the Tommy Hunter Show!
Debuting on radio, the Tommy Hunter Show ran on television for 27 years until 1992. Carol Baker was a regular.
The performance end that I learned from Tommy is always be honest with your audience. If you make a mistake, just laugh at it and they'll laugh along with you.
He brought into my living room Grand Ole Opry stars that I otherwise would have never known about or seen.
His shows drew people from all walks of life, including the younger generation.
Whether it's Garth Brooks or Shania Twain, and Rita McNeil worked that television show a lot, Anne Murray, they all did. And they all had just utmost respect for it.
In a statement, CBC said Tommy Hunter left an undeniable mark on music. His contributions are truly remarkable. His success awarded him 3 Junos, a Gemini, a spot in the Canadian Country Music Hall of Fame, and on the Country Music Hall of Fame's Walkway of Stars in Nashville.
Maybe there'll be a Tommy Hunter show up in heaven somewhere that everybody can watch. Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing?
I'm a tramp.
Tommy Hunter continued to perform until his 75th birthday. He died of natural causes. Angie Seth, CBC News, Toronto.
Canada's men's soccer team is getting ready for a historic match against Morocco.
I want to play soccer when I grow up and play for Canada and be the best.
How they're inspiring a whole new generation next. We're just hours away from kickoff for Canada's historic round of 16 men's World Cup match. As Nick Purdon shows us, it's a historic run that just might turn Canada into a soccer nation.
Ooh-ah, Canada, say ooh-ah, Canada.
Work to keep the ball moving. Be on the ball of your feet all of the time.
Tomorrow, the Canadian Men's World Cup team will play the biggest game in their history. Obviously, lots at stake. What I'm wondering is, how much does it matter that this version of the Canadian team has already gone farther than any in the history of the Men's World Cup? I don't know about you, but it seems everywhere I go these days, kids are playing soccer. Now, these kids aren't just playing. They're actually recreating something pretty special.
We were just trying to recreate Stefan Eustachio's goal, like when Canada played South Africa, when he scored that volley in one of the last minutes of the game. Canada went crazy.
Canadian kids reliving a World Cup moment. That's pretty amazing. Makes you wonder, is this a new Canadian dream? Could this generation of Canadian kids become soccer obsessed? What do you think about Canada in the World Cup so far?
They're doing really good, and especially their past rounds, and I think they can really win the World Cup.
Sure, they're into soccer today, but long term, how committed are they? Can I ask you the big question? What do you want to be when you grow up?
Either a chess player or a soccer player.
Well, almost there. What about the kid in the Argentina jersey?
I want to play soccer when I grow up and play for Canada and be the best.
Look to keep the ball moving. Do not want to see the ball standing still. Try to keep the ball moving, please.
So how did our men's national team get so good at soccer that they're inspiring kids?
First pass is free. Kai, you got the first pass.
Desmond Garner has been coaching for 30 years here in Brampton, Ontario. And it's on these fields where more than half a dozen Canadian national team players were once kids just like these guys.
These great soccer players didn't just become great overnight. They had to work really, really hard. They started out in fields like this, working with coaches like myself, continue to help them to fall in love with the game, because the more they enjoy what they're doing, the harder they're going to work, the more they're going to get out of it, the better they're going to get. What did you think of the game?
Good. Canada was playing good. Yeah, Canada was playing good.
What are the kids like to coach right now that the World Cup is on?
It means the world. I mean, yes, they enjoy watching. They want to watch. They want to watch the skills. They want to see what's actually happening. They need to understand that they have the opportunity, if they keep progressing and they keep developing, that one day they could join these young men and these young women at the national level and maybe represent their country at a World Cup. Well done. Good work. Who hasn't been in the middle? In you go. Spread yourself out.
But the reality is, most of us aren't players or coaches.
Good to see you, pal. Good to see you, right?
We're just fans. So what does the team's success mean for the rest of us?
It's a dream come true. People ask me how Sunday in LA was. I said it was the best day of my life.
Thomas Hefferman has been at every Canadian game at this World Cup.
I'm proud to support our country, to wear this patch, and I think we can do it. I think we can go all the way, and you got to believe it. 100%, man, 100%.
Oh yeah, and if you're wondering about the fur?
Andrew, how you doing, buddy? Well, this outfit I'm wearing is very symbolic of the Canada soccer supporters, the voyageurs. We're fur traders, we're fur trappers, and we're very ferocious and tenacious, and we go wherever our team takes us.
The Voyageurs are a massive Canadian soccer fan group, thousands of members. Some of them en route to tomorrow's game in Houston, Texas.
Oh! It's Kurt, a.k.a. the Tourists, driving across the desert.
What up?
Yeah.
There you go.
Last stop, Houston, Texas. Here we go.
There you go, boys.
Hoorah, Canada, let's go. Canada, say hoorah, Canada, let's go.
Thomas and Maddie will fly to Houston. They wouldn't miss Canada's big game for anything. Why does this matter so much to you?
I'm proud of this country. I'm proud of what we represent. The team itself is a brotherhood. It's a mix of a lot of first, second generation immigrants who came to this country for a better opportunity to achieve, whether they're parents or themselves as athletes. And I'm just so proud of what this team represents and what our country represents.
Hey, we're coming for the cup. We're coming for the cup.
Thomas believes that as a fan, he has a role in this World Cup for Canada.
Canadians have been too polite and too calm and sitting on their seats for too long at these games. It's time we show them that we have energy, we have passion, and we can bring that kind of intensity that instills a little bit of fear in the other team.
Canada!
Win or lose against Morocco, there's no doubt. This World Cup has made Canada a soccer nation.
It is estimated 1 in 4 Canadians tuned in to watch at least part of one of Team Canada's games. As Nova Scotia transitions to a green energy grid, some residents are fighting back against proposed natural gas peaker plants. Taryn Grant now on the environmental risk versus the reliable electricity reward.
Power lines and wind turbines. Nova Scotia is building a lot of both. It's part of a plan to turn the power grid green. But the wind doesn't always blow. Renewable energy needs a backup. Down bumpy back roads in Pictou County, there's a fight brewing about the backup energy source the province has chosen.
Ooh, worm right in there.
Raina McDonald has been putting down roots here for more than 15 years. She and her husband have been raising their children and building a homestead.
So it would not be easy to transplant the life that you've created here elsewhere.
No, we're very firmly rooted into these lands here.
But into these lands is supposed to come this. 2 of them, in fact. Gas-burning electrical power plants, similar to this one in Texas. They're often called peaker plants because they're only turned on at times of peak demand. Relying on fossil fuels as part of the green transition might seem paradoxical, but Nova Scotia is not alone in taking this approach.
Electricity demand in Canada is expected to double by 2050. So we will double our grid.
The Carney government is developing a national electricity strategy, and the Prime Minister says natural gas generation will be part of it. One of the plants could be less than 5 kilometers away, as the crow flies. A second one in another part of the same county.
This is way more than a not in my backyard story.
McDonald says she doesn't want this kind of power plant built anywhere.
We're passing quite a climate crisis over to our children right now, and any actions that feel like they're not moving towards doing better feel pretty wrong for me.
The Independent Energy System Operator says that these power plants are necessary to achieve that green transition, to meet the clean energy goals that the province has set. Does that jive for you?
No, not at all. We know that there are alternatives in batteries. This is the logo, so...
McDonald is part of a local advocacy group that's formed in opposition to the power plants. Carbon emissions, air pollution, harm to animals that call the area home. Their list of concerns goes on. Some of the group's members are taking the matter to court, looking for a judicial review of the province's environmental assessments.
I'm not saying anyone did anything wrong. I just think it needs to be looked at in more detail.
Linda Cormier filed an application to Nova Scotia Supreme Court in Pictou this spring. She's one of 8 applicants.
And we're on the cusp of creating a brand new energy grid for Nova Scotia. Why not, have a really close look at how we're going about it?
So what's at stake if the gas plants go ahead?
The fate of this river, I would say.
In high school, Matt Russell would zip down to this tributary of the West River on his lunch breaks, angling for Atlantic salmon. That passion led him to become a marine ecologist.
Atlantic salmon and brook trout rely on specific portions of the river where they find cold, clean water, healthy freshwater productivity, and good spawning grounds.
About 1,000 meters upstream is where one of the power plants could be built. One of his fears is that wastewater discharged from the plant into the river's headwaters would elevate river temperatures.
As that water comes in, it mixes with the small river we have here, with the overpowering of that cold force that's protecting all these fish, effectively boiling the fish.
50,000 liters of wastewater could be released into the watershed each hour the peaker plant is in operation. But when I visited the grid operator in downtown Halifax, they revealed a surprising change in plans.
How much water and at what temperature would you be discharging into the watercourses in the area?
So the transition to a low water use technology means that we won't be discharging processed water into nearby watersheds.
So you're not going into 8 Mile Brook, 6 Mile Brook, Watercourse 1 at all?
The low water use technology won't require that.
No industrial waste into the watershed. This must be good news for the salmon, right?
The introduction of a massive fossil fuel plant, regardless of the technology being used, does not help a river. If you can't destroy riparian forests, meaning the forests surrounding the rivers, you can't destroy the headwater marshes of a system and expect that to have a positive or a not noticeable impact.
That's why he and his team are still collecting data from the river, hoping they can prove how valuable this ecosystem is, or maybe, down the line, to show what kind of impact the power plants have. The grid operator did not pick these locations out of a hat. Both sites are at intersections of the province's central natural gas pipeline and a main transmission line. Gas to feed the generators, and power lines to carry it away. Then there's the question of a different technology: batteries. Nova Scotia already has some. Why not build more and avoid these controversial gas plants? The grid operator says that won't work. I asked Chris Milligan to show me why.
As you add more batteries to the system, their contribution to the reliability of that system, the marginal benefit that they bring, declines. And so you get less bang for your buck as you add more batteries to the system. We demonstrate that here for both 4, 8, and 12-hour batteries. You see that declining performance as you add more and more, that declining ability to contribute to the specific reliability requirements that we have in Nova Scotia.
Professor Lucas Swan, mechanical engineer and battery researcher.
We've taken them and we've stacked them here. And
he's showing me what these battery systems look like. This research setup uses old electric vehicle batteries. In practice, they'd be packed even tighter. Swan is a battery guy, but even he sees the merits of the gas plants.
If you had to pick, and you were told, pick between these two technologies and do it exclusively on the basis of reliability, I would pick the peaker plant.
But he says if you want to be truly green,
I'm of the opinion it would be nice to take an alternative technology solution to this. Obviously, I work in batteries. I think batteries are really great, and we cycle batteries back and forth here in the laboratory all the time, pushing and pulling electricity. So it truly represents an emissions-free way of getting a peaker plant.
2030 is the next big deadline for greening the power grid. By then, Nova Scotia is supposed to ditch its coal reliance, bring much more renewable energy online, and it's when some kind of backup system will become critical. 3.5 years is not much time to buy and build any energy technology, leaving even less time to settle the debate.
Pushback against the proposed gas plants appears to be growing. Just last weekend, more than 100 people protested at the offices of a provincial MLA and federal MP. Coming up, 5 years after BC's historic heat wave, we examine what's changed.
Plants that were growing in wetter, cooler areas actually improved their performance.
Taking a temperature check of the ecosystems that struggled to survive. Next.
Why am I getting the feeling that you guys have seen this before?
Because we have.
Maritimers are looking for ways to beat the heat. High temperatures, which boiled Ontario and Quebec this week, have now moved into Atlantic Canada. With the humidex, it felt like nearly 40 degrees in Halifax today. 5 years after a historic and deadly heat dome brought sweltering temperatures to BC, senior meteorologist Johanna Wagstaff checks in on the ecosystems that were pushed past their breaking points.
It's been 5 years since British Columbia experienced the hottest temperatures ever recorded in Canadian history. For 6 brutal days, an unprecedented heat dome cooked the air over the province. At the peak on June 29th, the village of Lytton hit 49.6 degrees, a temperature hotter than anything ever recorded in the history of Europe or South America. 619 people died. But the human toll was only part of the story. An estimated 1 billion intertidal animals cooked to death on the rocks in a single week. Millions of trees turned a ghostly orange. Across the province, entire ecosystems were subjected to a preview at what happens when the climate changes faster than nature can adapt. Because 5 years later, the data is revealing something unexpected. Some ecosystems are still collapsing, some fundamentally altered, and others have found ways to adapt and thrive. Let's start with the intertidal zone. To understand why the coast took such a hit, we have to look at the clock. The heat dome perfectly coincided with the lowest low tides of the year, happening right at solar noon, leaving billions of blue mussels and acorn barnacles exposed to direct sunlight during the hottest hours of the day. Those creatures that could retreat to shade like crabs and fish fared better, but the mussels were cooked alive in their own shells.
Our current calculation is somewhere on the order of 10 billion barnacles and another 2 or 3 billion mussels. It was a real catastrophe for the marine ecosystem on the shore.
But if you walk these same beaches today, low tide looks full again. Seaweeds are back, kelp blankets the low shore, and the purple starfish are so massive, we know they're old enough to be the same ones that survived 2021. But look closer, and the blue mussels are missing.
The mussels just don't tolerate the heat very well. The Pacific oyster, which has been introduced, actually can survive an extra 10 degrees of heat, and they mostly sailed through the heat wave just fine. So I think we're going to tip into a new system where we have a lot more oysters than we used to.
We're seeing that same rewriting of the landscape here in our forests. When the heat dome hit, the internal temperature of needles and leaves pushed past 50 degrees, essentially destroying the chlorophyll. But the biggest surprise in the data, there were some winners that emerged from the heat.
What we actually found was that depending on where the plants were growing, plants that were growing in wetter, cooler areas actually improved their performance.
When the heat dome broke, researchers from across the Pacific Northwest rushed to pool their raw field notes before the evidence washed it away. 5 years later, those same scientists say they're now connected for life, a rapid response network ready to deploy the second the next climate shock hits. Because as the data warns, time is running out.
By the middle of this century, events like that are forecasted to occur every 5 to 10 years. The results of this study are more important now than they have ever been in the past.
The 2021 heat dome left a permanent footprint on British Columbia. It serves as a living laboratory, a litmus test for our future, proving that survival in a changing world is about who can find the shade, who can access the water, and who can adapt before the next wave hits.
In the week following the 2021 heat dome, there was a nearly 400% increase in wildfire activity. Coming up, Portugal fans took over the streets of Toronto after a dramatic win over Croatia.
Ronaldo being in Toronto was something of a surreal moment.
The celebration featuring a soccer legend next in our moment. You were looking at a crowd of Portugal soccer fans outside a Toronto hotel where superstar Cristiano Ronaldo was staying. He came onto the balcony to fire up the crowd after a dramatic win over Croatia. So tonight, the celebration makes our moment.
Ronaldo being in Toronto was something of a surreal moment. Ronaldo was here playing in the round of 32 matchup against Croatia. The match itself was very technical. I was able to experience it at our social club called the Casa Benfica of Toronto. We are fanatics of Portugal. Tens of thousands of Portuguese people show up at Stanley Park March proudly, not just for Ronaldo, but for all the players, because we wanted to support them, because this is a very proud moment in our community's history. After the match, people decided to go back to the hotel. Oh my God, these people, it's past midnight and these people are still out here chanting our names. He's like, come guys, come see this. And they went out and he's just pumping up that crowd. You don't see that. Ronaldo doesn't typically do that. It was kind of surreal and kind of awesome at the same time.
Sergio told us that a tour guide in Portugal told him there are 2 rules in Portugal. One is that you can't say anything bad about Ronaldo, and he couldn't remember what the second rule was. Portugal will play Spain in their next game on Monday in the round of 16 in Texas. From all of us at The National, thanks for being with us. I'm Lindsay Duncombe in Vancouver.